saving other homes.
Neighbors helping neighbors, and strangers alike.
No official first responders here, just volunteers going in and bringing folks out.
This is what America's about.
Sometimes it's nice to see all the good that's out there.
We have seen it in community after community after community.
Watch NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt, evenings on NBC.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Hey guys, this is Andrew Caravella. Just wanted to let you know that KCAA has a new listener line for all of you that have a phone. Now you can listen to KCAA in the grocery store, in the doctor's office, or when you want to pretend you're on the phone with someone just so that creeper will leave you alone. Call 720-835-3099 today and listen to your favorite KCAA radio shows. That number again, 720-835-3099. KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no caller or listener behind.
NBC News Radio, I'm Tom Roberts. Reports say Paul Manafort's former right-hand man Rick Gates is taking the stand today in the trial of President Trump's former campaign chairman. Gates is expected to testify that Manafort filed false tax returns and committed bank fraud. Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says he's appalled by the weekend shooting deaths.
So listen, it's no secret that we had an unacceptably violent weekend.
Dozens were shot and at least 11 have been confirmed dead in what Johnson describes as gang conflicts. The Mendocino Complex fire is now the second largest wildfire in California history and is on track to become the largest. The blaze is only 30% contained and tore through another 7,000 acres overnight. Pop star Demi Lovato reportedly is out of the hospital and checking into a rehab facility. Lovato released a statement yesterday about her suspected overdose last month, saying she'll continue to heal and focus on her sobriety. Robert Redford is announcing his retirement from acting. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
This is Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah, and I'm super excited to bring you my newest book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are.
Hey, IE, Dr. Marissa's book tour is coming to Redlands for the launch of her new book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. Dr. Marissa is an award-winning media personality with a nationally syndicated radio show. Dr. Marissa, a.k.a. the Asian Oprah, was the 2017 Iconic Woman of the Year, as well as having one of the top 10 podcasts in health. Don't miss Dr. Marissa in person for this exclusive book signing Sunday, August 12th at Barnes & Noble in Redlands, only at Citrus Plaza, 27460 West Langonia Avenue in Redlands.
It's a guide for anyone who wants to stop suffering from past pain and future fear, because you deserve to be happy 88% of the time.
Dr. Marissa's book signing will take place Sunday, August 12th in Redlands at the Citrus Plaza inside Barnes & Noble. More info at 4balance.org. That's the number 4balance.org.
Wet n Wild Palm Springs is the one where you get big water park fun. Yeah, dive into all the action-packed thrills with exciting rides, slippery slides, cool water adventures, and so many ways to just chill. So get everyone together and get to Wet n Wild Palm Springs. For unlimited fun, get a season pass. Buy now, get a free ticket for a friend, and more. All for just $64.99 at wetandwildpalmsprings.com or at Food for Less. Offer ends soon. Park open daily.
KCAA, where every day is a great day.
The views of the following show are not necessarily the views of broadcast management or its owner, Fred Lundgren. But then again, the views of broadcast management are, well, different. And now it's time for On the Mark Live with host Mark Westwood. Finally, a show about KCAA. Hot topics, a little locomotion, current events, news, laugh, reviews, and a little irreverence. And you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3, 2, 1, Mark.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get you advice mic level here any second now. I know that. As we speak louder, and I'll speak louder. Maybe I just need to turn my headsets up. I don't know.
That's possible.
That could be it there. Okay. Hi. Welcome, everybody, to On the Mark with Mark Westwood. And I'm Mark Westwood. But I'll be here all afternoon, whether you like it or not. And I have in the studio with me a guest, a coworker, a cohort, not to be confused with a cohort. Andrew Caravella. Thank you. Welcome to Andrew.
Hey.
And we have, of course, the effervescent Brandon. Hello, Brandon. How are you this afternoon, Brandon?
Hello, hello. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Brandon's in the control room. He's the man behind the curtain.
It's actually a glass window, Mark.
The Great Wizard!
The Great Wizard behind the glass window. Thank you for bringing that to the attention, because the listeners wouldn't see that anyway.
No, they wouldn't.
Okay. We'll put up... No, just kidding. We got a good show today. Anthony Serrano's going to come in and update us on Harmony. Harmony is not peace in this case. It's not very peaceful over in Harmony or over in Highland or Mentone or Redlands as they battle back and forth. He's going to tell us about the latest in the political shenanigans from Orange County meddling here in our local community. I'll just put it that way. He'll be talking about that in just a few minutes when he arrives, and he will be talking about a Highland City Council meeting coming up that maybe, even if you don't live in Highland, you want to attend, unless you want to be impacted by 8,000 homes and all new kids in the Redlands Unified School District and a whole bunch of things happening, and then toilet to tap water, which is not very nice sounding.
No, that's disgusting.
It's kind of disgusting. But first of all, while we're waiting for Anthony, I thought we would bring in, and later on, by the way, we're going to be talking with Dr. Marissa on how we can be 88% happy 88% of the time, and her new book signing coming up this next weekend at Barnes & Noble in Redlands. There, that's all over with now.
Yeah. August 12th.
August 12th. So we wish her the best. She's got a new book out. And, of course, she's on our radio station, the Asian Oprah. Dr. Marissa Pei is on every Thursdays at 7 p.m. and then also Saturdays at 2 p.m. So we'll be talking with her in just a little bit. But first of all, let's talk about another show that's on Tuesdays.
Hey.
At 7 p.m.
6.
6.
Yeah. It used to be 7, but we did so good in the ratings.
That's right.
I got to move to 6.
That's right.
That's drive time.
That's right. That's why it's driving me crazy, because I put you at 7. You just didn't stay put.
No.
Okay.
I'm working on 5 next.
No, Sports Circus is there.
Probably.
Yeah, not happening. Anyway, Tuesdays at 6, I stand corrected. It's WeTube, and you're like, no, Mark, you're so unsectavy and don't know what you're talking about. Everybody calls it YouTube. No, why do we call it WeTube, Anthony? Andrew.
Yeah, Anthony's not here yet. Well, we call it WeTube. It's because we are YouTubing. So it's where we talk YouTube. WeTube.
Everybody that YouTubes is a WeTuber. Because they and they tube. I don't know. It gets confusing. It's a clever play on words, but it works, I assure you. It is a show all about YouTube and the great stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, and social media influencers. So instead of having Ellen DeGeneres and Tom Cruise, we have social media influencers.
Influencers.
Yes.
And by the way, we can't forget one influencer, because he's be listening to this and be like, hey.
Of course.
Manny
Boy Sandoval, my co-host.
That's right. We love Manny Boy.
Yeah.
And so what is a social media influencer?
So social media influencer is somebody that influences, or gives influence to a social media platform. Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. They're usually people that are content creators. So if you see a really fun video on a Facebook or a YouTube and you reshare it to your following or your friends and family, who's ever in that video, they're considered an influencer, especially when those videos go viral and they get into the millions and millions of likes and views.
Yeah. So what do they do when they YouTube? They WeTube.
They WeTube.
So that's why it's called WeTube.
Touche.
So tell us about, you've been on now for what, about 2 months?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. 2 months.
And now you're also on our sister baby associate station.
Yes.
KQLH.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Fridays at 4 p.m.
That's a good time.
For one more week.
For one more week.
And then we're booting you off the air.
Well, no, you're moving me.
We're moving you.
You're moving me, yeah.
That's a tradition. I put you somewhere, and then I move you. No, the reason we're moving him is because this guy Rick Dees wants that.
He came in and said, I need to take Andrew's time slot.
That's
I'm
right.
like, who's this guy? And then I Googled him, and I was like, that's okay. I'm on right after him.
Rick Origin Emeritus.
Rigdon
Dees. Rigdon Dees. I knew he had another name besides Rick.
So
we have Rick in the morning.
Yeah, the original Ryan Seacrest.
The original Ryan Seacrest. I'm sure he just loved that one. Anyway, okay. I apologize. And the views of Andrew Caravello are not necessarily the views of KCAA Hits Management or KQLH. Okay, we did the disclaimer there. But, we're happy to have him on KQLH.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun listening at 92.5 to him in the middays.
2 to 6.
2 to 6.
Monday through Friday.
That's right.
So when you're stuck in traffic, Rick Dees will get you through.
That's right. And we don't mind promoting him on KCAA because KCAA is our big papa station here.
Yeah.
KCAA has 3 frequencies, big AM all over Southern California. Itty bitty little KQLH, but
it's like an adopted child.
It's adopted child. It's growing. But we have pretty good guys there. We got Rick in the Morning, which is not to be confused with Rick Dees.
Right.
And then we have Rick Dees.
It's Rick with the K in the morning.
And then we play swinging music.
Yeah.
So the place where the Ricks are swinging.
Touche.
Touche. Anyway, I just meant that just how it sounds. We have a caller calling in just a few minutes here.
It's probably Rick Dees.
I am not the Ryan Seacrest guy. That would be funny. Now you've got me wondering who that might be. Oh, so somebody wanted to sell us something. Oh, jeez. I didn't ask actually for callers at the moment. But if you do want to text us about that, you can text 909-475-7787. You can text to 909-475-7787. And the other Rick just walked in, the Rick in the Morning, and he's giving me a high sign. Yes, thank you. We love you too. I resemble that remark. Anyway, this, folks, is what you call vamping until your guests get here, by the way. But we love having the show on about WeTube.
Yeah.
And tell us, like, one of your most favorite shows so far.
Okay. I'm biased. My favorite show would probably be the one that we did a few weeks ago with Amanda McDonough, sorry. I always get that mixed up. Amanda McDonough, she's a deaf actress. She started going deaf when she was like 4 years old. Her parents, had her. She was a showbiz kid, so her parents had her in commercials and stuff. And she swore her parents to secrecy not to tell anyone. And by the time she was a junior in college, she had fully lost all of her hearing. And she had no idea how to sign. She had to learn everything. And it actually worked in her favor because it was her handicap or her disability which actually made her more successful, more popular as an actress, and now as a motivational speaker and an author. So I love that story because it's somebody who had so much turmoil in life and they were able to turn that into a positive. So that's probably one of like the most remarkable guests that I've had so far.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And the funnest day. Had to be fun with Manny around.
Manny's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, let's see. When I don't know. Every time we do the show, it's a fun day. I don't know. We do these fun games at the end of the show called This or That, where you have to pick the best of the worst situation. We do story time where we tell ridiculous stories, and 2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie?
2 truths and a lie. We tell 2 truths and then a lie about ourselves, and then the other guests have to guess which one's the truth and which one's a lie.
Well, very, very cool.
Yeah.
We're going to go break in just about 30 seconds here, Brandon, and we thank you for being on here.
Yeah, sure. No, I get booted here too, It's,
booted and
I'm just used to it.
Booted and scooted and moved and everything else. But we thank you, Andrew, for helping us fill in that
sure.
15 minutes here. And
Since we're here, make sure you guys follow me on social media, On Air Andrew. I'm going to shameless plug myself since I have the time.
Okay, On Air Andrew.
On Air Andrew.
On social media, everything.
Everything, On Air Andrew.
Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Yep, Twitter, you name it, On Air Andrew.
Do you have Snapchat too?
Yep.
Well, very good.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Andrew
You're
Caravella.
welcome. Yay, me.
I'm Mark Westwood, and we'll be back in just a moment with Anthony Serrano on, what's the name of the show? Oh, yeah, On the Mark. KCAA, 1050 AM, 106.5 and 102.3.
You've been listening to On the Mark Live with Mark Westwood, a show about KCAA, the world, and you, with more to come in a moment.
This segment brought to you by the Yucaipa and Calamasa News Mirror, true citizens of the community, serving residents in Yucaipa, Calamasa, and Oak Glen for more than 90 years with strong coverage of local issues, people, and events, plus local advertising, information, and great news for shoppers. Delivered to more than 20,000 local homes and businesses, the News Mirror reaches more households than any other newspaper in our community. Local merchants choose the News Mirror as a great source for advertising their goods and services and getting their message out. You can find them on Facebook at Yucaipa Calamasa News Mirror. More info is also online at newsmirror.net. That's newsmirror.net. The Yucaipa and Calamasa News Mirror. Your community, your newspaper.
If you or a loved one
was seriously injured in an accident with a semi-truck or an 18-wheeler truck, you need to act fast. I'm attorney Daniel Rudbari. I know how to fight truck companies. Call me 800-325-1454 for your free consultation. 800-325-1454. Truck accident cases are different than an auto versus auto accident. There are so many more issues involved when dealing with a truck accident case. There are federal regulations and state regulations, several different companies that may be involved. I can immediately gather the evidence, get you the medical care you need with no deductible and no copay to you, and get you the compensation and the money you deserve for your injuries. And if there's no recovery, there's no fees charged to you. I'm attorney Daniel Rudbari. I know how to fight truck companies. Call me 800-325-1454 for your free consultation. 800-325-1454.
This is Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah, and I'm super excited to bring you my newest book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are.
Hey, IE, Dr. Marissa's book tour is coming to Redlands for the launch of her new book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. Dr. Marissa is an award-winning media personality with a nationally syndicated radio show. Dr. Marissa, a.k.a. the Asian Oprah, was the 2017 Iconic Woman of the Year, as well as having one of the top 10 podcasts in health. Don't miss Dr. Marissa in person for this exclusive book signing Sunday, August 12th at Barnes & Noble in Redlands, only at Citrus Plaza, 27460 West Lingonia Avenue in Redlands.
It's a guide for anyone who wants to stop suffering from past pain and future fear, because you deserve to be happy 88% of the time.
Dr. Marissa's book signing will take place Sunday, August 12th in Redlands at the Citrus Plaza inside Barnes & Noble. More info at 4balance.org. That's the number 4balance.org.
And now it's time to batten down the hatches, because here comes more of Mark Westwood and On the Mark Live. 3, 2, 1, Mark.
Mark. All right, KCAA 1050 AM, 106.5, 102.3. I'm Mark Westwood, back with the second part of On the Mark, or the second part of the first part of On the Mark. But nonetheless, I want to welcome Anthony Serrano. Hey. Welcome, Anthony.
Thank you.
Anthony's kind of a regular here. We've been talking about this for about 2 years now, on and off, about the Harmony Project. And Anthony is a foremost area local water expert, and also an activist over in a resident in the city of Highland. I think the city of Highland is pretty lucky to have you. First of all, let's define what the Harmony Project is for some people who maybe just moved into the area or haven't heard about it before. It is a proposed housing project.
Yes, 3,600 proposed homes on 1,600 acres at the far east end of the city of Highland. It was annexed in.
Which for most locals would just say, that's Mentone. You're in Mentone. That's how close it is to the city of Mentone.
Yes, in fact, another good landmark is the Seven Oaks Dam.
Yeah.
So that 1,600 acres, actually all of the dirt and soils were excavated out of that property and put inside the Seven Oaks Dam.
Yeah, and that land is maybe owned by this Orange County, right?
Well, allegedly it's owned by Orange County.
Indirectly controlled by Orange County.
Yes.
And so they want to build these homes, and of course homes impact people. They impact schools. So in this case, it's the Redlands Unified School District. It's closer to Yucaipa and Mentone than it really is the city of Highland. To be quite honest with you, the residents of Highland probably might not even feel it, because they're off in one area way over, and then you have to go through that whole road there on Green Spot to get to where they're going to place those homes, which is over kind of where a lot of people recreate and stuff like that. Seems like a kind of a wash area, but that's where the Harmony is going.
Yes.
And so the city, not the city of Mentone, but the community of Mentone, the city of Yucaipa, the people it most directly, impacts, really haven't had a lot about this and haven't known a lot about this, but there's one road in and one road out. It's kind of like Orange County. Orange County likes those traffic jams, and like Carbon Canyon, one road in and one road out. And those serious fires they had this past year where all these homes were trapped in the canyon and just, got decimated by winds and fire. They want to do that same thing. They want to bring that same happiness and joy to the city of Highland. And what did the city and the voters of Highland do about it?
Well, we went to all of the hearings, and then we did what was called a referendum. Once the city council approved the project against all of the objections that were raised in the California Environmental Quality Act process called CEQA, the city council went ahead and approved it. our referendum essentially overturned the city council approval.
Now, referendum is where they put something on the ballot, folks. And people, when they vote for the president or the governor or your local candidates, they vote on measures or propositions or referendums. So it's basically a ballot proposition. They voted on it, correct?
Yes.
And how'd that turn out?
Well, we got all of the votes. We got all the signatures that were required to do to complete the referendum. And as a result, the city had to take those signed by signatures by the voters to the county, the voters registration office.
Mm-hmm.
They were all authenticated, and we won.
And so you got it on the ballot.
Yes, we got it on the ballot.
And it's like something like 77% or something like that of the voters voted against the Harmony Project.
Yes.
That's a big number, folks. That's 77% of the voters in Highland that voted in that election said, no way, we don't want this. We don't want the toilet to tap water, which is this, basically the water that would come from the Sterling Water Resources Project. Toilet to tap. Sounds kind of interesting. Basically, let me put it this way. You flush your toilet. It goes down into the sewer. And from there, a lot of times it's refined, cleaned out, no matter, all your stuff that goes down there. I'm trying to be polite. Also your medications and all the things that you take as far as blood pressure medications or maybe narcotics or whatever you're taking for your ailments. Norco or whatever, that's a narcotic. All go into your bloodstream or whatever, and then it's, excavated from your body down to the sewer system. And normally it would go into a what they call reclamation plant. And the law says that then they have to filter it, clean it, make it drinkable, but then dump it back in, or they used to have a law, dump it back into the land, like what they call an underground water aquifer.
Right. Well, it's called recharging. We recharge the Bunker Hill Basin, right?
Right. And so adding the water to the Bunker Hill Basin goes through all this, filaments and sods and sand and sediments and all that kind of stuff. And then it comes back out. It's pumped back out. It's cleaned. It's filtered. It's watered again. And then it's probably pretty good, decent, and safe to drink. Most people think. But, I've seen the pictures where the people go, oh, here's the tap right out of the sewer plant, the reclamation plant, as they call it. Not sewer plant, reclamation plant. Right. And they drink the water. Well, yeah, it probably won't kill. That glass of water probably won't kill them. But if they drink in it and they bathe in it and they wash it and they wash their babies in it and everything else, there's a problem right there. Right. So now the latest thing is, I just heard this on Friday and almost drove off the road when you called me up. I was leaving at 7:30 at night on a Friday, and you want to tell me what?
That the city of Highland, well, first of all, let me say I want to thank Judge Donald Alvarez, who is one of our two CEQA judges at the Superior Court here in San Bernardino County. The other CEQA judge is Judge Ochoa. But the two CEQA lawsuits that were filed against the Harmony Project, Judge Alvarez finally made his ruling on June 26, and essentially 6 of the major CEQA items he ruled in our favor and against the defendants. So consequently, that was on June 26th. We had a scheduled court hearing on the 23rd, which was continued to August 10th. But then on July 26th, the city of, Orange County Executive Office sent a letter to the city of Highland. I think you saw that one-page letter, and essentially told the city of Highland to repeal the 2 ordinances, number 410 and number 409. Also, all of the entitlements, in other words, the land part of it was redeeded differently with the county recorder. So Orange County wanted everything repealed, which means Harmony's gone. And there's a special city council meeting on the 8th, which is Wednesday, where the city council will vote to do all the repeals.
So, for a lot of people, they're jumping up and down with joy, correct?
Yes.
That was a victory by citizen activism.
Yes.
Voting, folks, that's just amazing thing to do. You do have a voice, and it does make a difference.
Exactly. Now, the issue is that we know that eventually Orange County may want to come back and try to do another project. But there is case law in California that when as in Judge Alvarez's situation, on the 10th when he makes his court orders, which he apparently appears that he's going to be remanding the case back to the City of Highland. He's already ruled in part to nullify the EIR, Environmental Impact Report, which would bring it back to the starting point. But this is what we want. We're hoping that Judge Alvarez will also include an order that any future development out in that area will require that the city go back and file a motion with his court.
That is fantastic news. And as far as I'm concerned, I think it's great news because I'm a Yucaipa resident. I would have been impacted by it.
Right.
People in Mentone would have been impacted by it. But it just goes to show you. A guy named Chris Tuvey.
Yes.
Anthony Serrano. Who else?
John Dalrymple, Steve Lowe. We've just got a number
of people that really, really helped out on this. And Lori Stallnicker was in there on that too. There was all kinds of people that objected, Highland residents that objected to it. And, you know, I remember how astonished I was. You told me that we've been doing this for about 2 years, interviews, information. KCAA is taking an active role in it. At one point, we covered and had a whole town hall meeting, gavel to gavel the town hall meeting. We put it on the air here. And so I think that KCAA had something to do with it as well, being good neighbors. And, you know, it was amazing. You said, okay, we're going to get this referendum on the ballot. First of all, every time you try to get a referendum on the ballot, it's a tough deal to do. I mean, it's not exactly a small number of signatures you have to do. You guys did it like in 3 or 4 days, right?
Right.
I mean, it was just boom. They put that thing out there, and they had how many signatures? Do you remember?
Well, there were almost 23,000 registered voters. We had to get at least 10% of the registered voters, which we exceeded that.
Well, congratulations. Now, there's a city council meeting coming up, and you recommend people attend it, or?
Oh, absolutely, yes, on the 8th at 6 p.m. And but what's going to be interesting here, just so that people will know what to look for, is that if and when the city repeals the entitlements, this is what we want. We want the entitlements, the land, to go back to the original zoning in year 2000. That's when the property was transferred from San Bernardino County to the City of Highland. The City of Highland promised to keep the zoning as it was, which was agricultural. One home for 5 acres and one home for 10 acres. There was a maximum of 283 homes that could be built in that area.
And Orange County has no business having that involvement in there either. They need to go away. They kind of got that because of a trade for land and everything for Seven Oaks Dam, and when they built the dam. This has been a whole thing. It's an ongoing saga that produced to this point, and where then Lewis Holmes, I believe it was trying to build the Harmony Project. And at this point, I'm glad that they backed down. Congratulations on that. We have a lot more issues to talk about. The Sterling Water Resources Plan is another issue where it was going to be originally $168,000 or something like that. And now how much money is it?
Well, it was going to be about 160 million.
160 million. Now what is it?
No, pardon me. It was 126 million. And that's been reported in the Highland Community News.
Okay, now what is it?
But it's now, in fact, they just awarded the contract to a design build group, and Mr. Mira is now saying, miraculously, it's 140 million. So this is the problem that we've gotten into. It's like mission creep. Once these projects start moving, then all of a sudden,
move up, yeah.
But we've got an answer for that. It's called the grand jury. And we're not going to wait until the project.
Sounds like more interesting stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
We got to run on this because I have another interview coming up right now. Anthony Serrano,
good.
Thank you, and we'll have you back. We're always going to have you back. It's an ongoing thing. Congratulations on the Harmony Project, and I'm glad that they heard the news right here on KCAA.
Thank you for all your help.
Thank you. Mark Westwood for On the Mark on KCAA 1050, 106.5, and 102.3. We'll be back right after this with Dr. Marissa.
You've been listening to On the Mark Live with Mark Westwood, a show about KCAA, the world, and you, with more to come in a moment.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, K292FQ Riverside, and K293CF Moreno Valley.
Wet n Wild Palm Springs is the one where you get big water park fun. Yeah, dive into all the action-packed thrills with exciting rides, slippery slides, cool water adventures, and so many ways to just chill. So get everyone together and get to Wet n Wild Palm Springs. For unlimited fun, get a season pass. Buy now, get a free ticket for a friend, and more. All for just $64.99 at wetandwildpalmsprings.com or at Food for Less. Offer ends soon. Park open daily.
now it's time to batten down the hatches because here comes more of Mark Westwood and On the Mark Live. 3, 2, 1, Mark.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and welcome back to the second part of On the Mark. We enjoyed having the executive director for the Boy Scouts, now called the Scouts of America, and his assistant, and thank you to Joe Lyons for conducting that interview. I'm Mark Westwood with On the Mark here every Monday at 3 p.m., and we cover a variety of subjects. And now we are going to cover another great subject. One of my favorite subjects is a client of ours here, and her name is Dr. Marissa Pay, and I want to say hello to Dr. Marissa. Hello, Dr. Marissa.
Hello, Mark, on the Mark Westwood.
Yes, that is the name of the show, On the Mark. And Marissa, you've been traveling a little bit. First of all, for our folks that don't maybe possibly tune in at that time, your show is on Thursday at 7 o'clock, faithfully for like the last 3-4 years. And then also we have it on at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturdays. As a repeat, just in case you missed that. Or you can listen to Dr. Marissa Pay by going onto our website at kcaaradio.com, and you can find her podcast there right under her name and her beautiful picture. You can listen to a show anytime you want, anywhere you want, whether it's in your bunny slippers at night at 3 a.m. in the morning or at 5 a.m. in the morning as you're jogging on the treadmill at one of your local fitness places. So listen and tune in. You're always better off when you listen to the Asian Oprah, Dr. Marissa Pay. And you have a show?
Aw, thank you.
Thank you. You've been traveling a little bit.
Yes, I have. And by the way, the title of the show is called Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It.
And I said Get Balance. It was a former Get Balance with Dr. Marissa. That's right. I use shorthand everywhere I go, and I get caught by that sometimes. But
Well, I kind of like to hear people laugh, so that usually gets a little bit of a giggle. And yes, I have been traveling. I've been gone for 5 weeks and a day. I just returned yesterday at 1 in the morning, and jumping back into a wonderful upcoming book launch. But I was on tour, speaking tour and book tour in Europe, in France and Italy and London and Brussels and Prague and Barcelona. So
and you didn't take me? Oh my
I
gosh!
Didn't take you. I didn't. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It was just I only had one suitcase, believe it or not,
Really?
for that entire trip, and I am grateful for this. It was an amazing trip. I'm a little discombobulated. I'm not quite sure what day it is, but I'm glad to be home.
It's Monday.
And now it is Monday. I do a meditative minute with Dr. Marissa in the morning on my Facebook, and I said it was Tuesday morning this morning.
I got to share with our listeners. Thank God you stayed in this hemisphere. Obviously, because last year you went out of the hemisphere and you were beneath the equator a little bit or on the other side of the world, and you got kind of confused sometimes.
Yes.
Like, where's my show? Well, it's not until today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm like not happy.
She thinks it's Thursday and it's only Wednesday here. Because it's Thursday where she's at. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
I was embarrassed. But, all right. I'm 88% perfect.
Yeah, and we want to make you 88% happy.
That's right, and that's exactly the point of the book that is being released on August 7th. It's called 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are, and it's published by Morgan James in New York, and the foreword's written by Michael Bernard Beckwith, one of the teachers from The Secret,
Impressive.
and the founder of Agape, and it's been endorsed by Neil Donald Walsh, New York Times mega best-selling author, and Layla Ali, daughter of Muhammad Ali, Marianne from Gilligan's Island,
Don Wells.
Vince Vaughn's mom, Don Wells, and writers from Forbes and Inc. and Aaron Saxon, who's the multi-nominated Emmy Award-winning producer of The View, and Barbara Walters. So I am really blessed to have quite support. A lot of them are my past guests on my show, which is good. That means they enjoyed it, and it's really a book aimed at the 1 in 4 Americans who are currently on anti-anxiety and anti-depression medication. They're still anxious and depressed and now have dangerous side effects, which are actually main effects on top of that. So, you know, in the recent news with the unfortunate passing of Kate Spade and the Anthony Bourdain, it's really kind of highlighted the side effects.
There is always a trade-off.
It is.
These wonder drugs always have a trade-off. And what a lot of people don't realize is they're just not something that, you know, if you change something one way in your body, something else is going to change. And that trade-off can be a really kind of a dangerous side effect.
It's happened to one of my life balance coaching clients, and I don't think that people, you know, they kind of laugh at the side effects when they talk about it on in commercials, you know, but the reality is sometimes the side effects are worse than the actual original issue or problem or symptom. And I really, really was starting to get super concerned. Now, here's the caveat. I'm not saying that there aren't some people who really benefit from it and don't have the side effects, so I don't want to, you know, ruffle any feathers, but I do know more people who are still anxious and depressed and realizing that the magic pill maybe was just a little Band-Aid. And so this book offers exercises and a framework to really look at past pain and future fear and dig out the shiitake and find the seed that's the beautiful you and then put it back in fertilizer to grow.
I remember when I had an opportunity to counsel young teens at one point in my life. And they would come to me and they'd say, I'm so depressed, I just can't figure life out, and I just don't know. And, you know, some of them were very serious and you know, underadvantaged and economically disadvantaged. They didn't have a lot of access to drugs or medications or anything else. They just wanted to know what they're doing. The first things I would ask is, you know, when was the last time you had 8 hours of sleep in a row, at least? How many meals did you have today that involved the food groups that you're supposed to have? You know, protein, carbohydrates, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, when was the last time you did any kind of exercise? And most of them would go, I says, okay, so I want you to do me a favor and just go out and, you know, jog around the block a couple of times, get your endorphins going, and get some sleep tonight, and don't eat anything from a fast food restaurant. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. And they looked at me like I was like talking from another planet. But the ones that followed me had a miraculous change in their outlook and in their life. Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's a tendency to, when you're not feeling good and you focus on not feeling good, you feel less good and less good and less good. And then soon you're, you know, feeling so hopeless and that you can't see any light at the end of the tunnel except that which is coming from an oncoming train. So this book also addresses the 7 out of 10 of us who have had trauma in our upbringing, and it's really interesting. Psychology research says 7 out of 10. My honorable moniker, Oprah, says it's as high as 8 out of 10. So why is it that the 3 out of 10 who have had a normal, healthy childhood have life, have the keys to life? Because a lot of us who have had past pain or trauma end up saying, well, you know, I'm never going to catch up, or there's something wrong with me, or we'll believe those negative messages that we got when we were young, that we were worthless or good for nothing, and that we would never amount to anything. And so many of us come to that midlife opportunity phase, I don't call it midlife crisis, but that opportunity to really re-examine some of those messages that we keep playing out and sabotaging ourselves with in life.
Oh, yeah.
And so the chapters, out of loneliness into hope, out of heartbreak into love, out of fear into freedom, to name a few, are specifically pointed to look at, out of hatred into forgiveness, those places that we may have gotten stuck in based on past pain and or future fear that are getting in our way of being happy 88% of the time.
Which leads me to the question.
Okay. Yeah.
Which leads me to the question. I know there's 88 keys on a piano keyboard.
Right.
And I love the piano. And I love to hear piano and love to play the piano. So I know that makes me happy. But how'd you come up with the 88%?
Well, if you're 100% happy, you're dead. So we don't want that.
Oh, no.
Right? We have to be somewhat, not happy some of the times for contrast, because we're here to grow and expand. And the specific number 88, for those of you who've heard my shows, know that 8's the lucky number in Mandarin or in Chinese. And I know I thought you thought I was Swedish, but I'm actually Chinese. Even though I'm talking on the phone, you don't see my picture unless you're flashing the picture of the book up, which I'm hoping you are. I was going to email it to you, but I emailed it to you earlier today.
You just put Brandon
I don't know
to work
if Brandon. Ah, right. I knew it was good to have Brandon there.
Yeah, so you have to look at me all the time.
But 8's a homonym for good fortune, and 88 is double good fortune. So in Mandarin, Ba is 8 and Fa is good fortune.
And
so
8 is also circular.
And 8 is infinity.
Yep. So
Limitless happiness.
So that's how you came up with 88%.
Correct.
Now, they say this is 8 ways, is a cross between I'm okay, you're still okay, and don't sweat the small stuff and the big stuff.
Yes.
Which is, tell me about those.
Yes. So a lot of us suffer from the critic. And it's an internalized voice that tells us, you shouldn't have said that, you should have said that. You should have done that, you shouldn't have done that. And it's a constant bashing of ourselves, largely due to early somebody was criticizing us for something. And then we don't need that person anymore. We've internalized that critic. And so there's exercises in the book to name your critic in order to soothe it and stop it from driving your life car off of a cliff. Because if you're only living by that critic,
there's your book, by the way.
In a very good place. Oh, yay!
Book
it's
is up there.
I'm not on the channel. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to address that critic who is usually the one that helps sabotage you or, keeps you in bed with the covers over your head, eating bonbons, because you've given up and there's no more hope. So part of the work in the book is to grow your balanced-centered self, grow the one who's really you, grow the one who's uniquely has talents, gifts, and abilities that are just yours so you can be happy 88% of the time and then use those gifts to serve and to help and leave this world a little better than when we found it. And that's the real reason why we're here on the planet. It's not just to collect toys. It's not just to, follow the American dream, which used to say that if you went to a good school, got good grades, got a good job, got married, had kids, had a beautiful house and a car, and then died and left your stuff to your kids, that was the American dream. Well, most of us these days are in an American nightmare. The house foreclosed, you're sick, your kids are on drugs, you lose your job, 401k gone. That's the American nightmare. And if you start your day listening to the news, except for KCAA, but if you listen to any other news, it's the worst about people. Murder, rape, corruption. And those can set your day in this downward spiral where you, of course, are going to feel bad. Of course, you're going to feel hopeless and fear. And 85% of people going to the doctor these days are diagnosed with stress-related illness. And so we actually contribute to our unhappiness more than we think. So I tell my clients, first thing, don't start the day with the TV on. Start the day with 8 gratitudes. And that's one of the balance tools in the book. Dr. Wayne Dyer said 5, I'm a recovering overachiever. And you 8 specific things that you're grateful for at the beginning of the day and end the day with 8 specific gratitudes when you lay your head on the pillow.
Kind of like a meditation.
Sandwich the day. Exactly. And if you sandwich your day that way, it's automatically going to be a better day.
Yes.
Because you're not starting worried that the world is going to hell in a handbasket. Can I say that?
Well, you can. And, I have this theory that you create your own universe these days.
Yes.
And you really can create a positive universe for yourself and positive surroundings where, the summer you're on the front porch swing, sipping iced tea and enjoying some good music. good jazz in my case, or you can get yourself involved in the 22 and the 55 and the traffic jam. You just have to figure out how to design your life so you can do that, and reading is a great way to do that. And what a perfect book for the middle of the summer here in August as it gets released. This 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are by Dr. Marissa Pei, who is our show host here on KCAA. We're happy to have her here. As we continue on, I want to reintroduce you to people who may just be joining us. She has a book release, and it's coming up August 11th, I believe. Isn't that right? 11th?
Nope, August 7th is the release, but I'm actually having a book signing, and I would love...
Oh, that's right.
purposely scheduled a book signing at the Barnes & Noble in Redlands.
So it's nearby there.
August the 11th, yes, on purpose, I decided to let's have a book signing close to my folks at KCAA, and that would absolutely involve having you all come over. I'd love to sign your book. Anyone that says that they listen to my show, even though they don't, will get, in addition to the book, a free pack of my motivational cards called 52 Card Pick Me Up, Stacking the Deck for Life Balance with Dr. Marissa. So you get 2 ways to get splattered with more hope and happiness from the Asian Oprah. It's another Asian Oprah giveaway. You get a book, you get a card, and it will definitely make you re-examine and use the power. Power is the best tool you have in this thing called life, the power of focus, the power of choice, because I want everyone to be happy 88% of the time, and I do believe it's possible.
That's
I really believe.
That's the Barnes & Noble at Citrus Plaza, which is right next to Mountain Grove Shopping Center, this huge shopping area now. And that's just right on the other side of the Tri-City Center where we are. There's another big shopping center on the other side of the 210 and 10 freeways. Very easy to find us at the 10 and the 210 freeways. And that's at 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yep, and I hope to see you all.
And Dr. Marissa, you're always a joy to have here. And, people, if you haven't been able to tune in and you want to, you can tune in onto her podcasts or on her YouTube channel we have here. And other various places. We have now a YouTube channel just specifically for you, Dr. Marissa.
Yeah,
we've created
fabulous.
We've created a lot of them for our preferred shows.
Thank you very much. I love being preferred.
Yes.
And I think I sent you my interview last week, actually. It was an encore with Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island. So just to name drop a bit. And I've interviewed Tony Tennille. You can actually get red carpet interviews with John Travolta, Halle Berry, Quincy Jones, so a couple names you might know. I've been blessed to get to do some red carpet everywhere now with my KCAA microphone flag, giving us a lot of promotion around the world as well. And I think I don't know if you go to my gallery on my website, drmarissa.tv, you'll see a lot of my mugshot with the Lieutenant Uhura with the KCAA
from Star Trek
logo on there, Star Trek, Kevin Costner. So go and check that out, and make sure you always keep it tuned to KCAA. And I'm glad that you have your own show. I honestly didn't know that.
It moves around. Yes,
okay.
I've had for a long time. It moves around, and it goes back and forth. It teeter-totters from KCA's subject content like we're having today, or we interviewed the Boy Scouts executive director here, now being the Scouts of America, and because they're accepting girls in there now too.
Awesome.
And awesome. And then sometimes it's a little political, I'll be honest with you. And other times it's just about things going on in the community. So it floats around wherever there's a spot or a time. I usually have once a week. And, if they don't sell the hour out from under me, I've got it for a while. If we sell it, then I'm back here. But as the general manager of the radio station, I kind of go with the flow, so to speak.
Yeah.
And speaking, if you want to flow on into Dr. Marissa's world and learn more, because she is a great motivational speaker. She's a corporate psychologist, a life balance coach, and just something more you want in your life. You can go to her Facebook page. She has also a Twitter. And you have an Instagram?
Instagram, yeah, Doc Balance. BOC Balance on Instagram.
Right, and it's www.4balance.org, the number 4balance.org, O-R-G, and you can find all those links on there too. And Dr. Marissa comes to us from Long Beach, and
actually Seal Beach, California.
Seal Beach,
yep.
and
you can actually get the link to the book automatically now at the number 8 Ways to Happiness, so that you don't have to follow any other links.
Right.
So you can pre-order now, and
I bet you if we just Google you, we could find you too.
If you Google Dr. Marissa, I'm actually first, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm doing something right. But I am your personal advocate for more hope and happiness, and I promise if you read through this book and do the exercises, you will never hate yourself the same way again. I promise.
Self-help on steroids, huh?
That's it. That's it.
Without the use of steroids, I guess.
That's right. Exactly.
You know,
I'm very excited because they're saying that this is going to help a lot of people, and that's exactly what I wanted it to do.
And you know, I'm one of those people that has it all figured out. You know.
Of course.
A lot of us think we have it all figured out, but like everything, whether you are a technical person or a teacher, you got to go back into the classroom once in a while and learn a little bit yourself.
Yeah.
And so
there's a chapter actually for you, the normal people, called Out of Perfectionism into Joy, actually 2 chapters, and Out of Control into Happiness. So these are the last 2 chapters for people who didn't have trauma, but have this tendency to want everything to be perfect.
Right.
And that in and of itself is sometimes can bring you unhappiness because it's never enough.
Right. If you think you're going to find perfection anywhere, you're going to always be perfect in one thing, finding disappointment, because there is no such thing as perfection. And the beautiful thing about all of this is that if you're a person like me, once in a while you gotta sit down, sit back, review, reflect, and say, okay, what direction am I going? But the other thing is that a lot of times, if you're somebody else that people come to as a beacon, what do I do, Mark? Or what do I do, Dr. Marissa? A lot of times you need to have this kind of tool bag with you. Yeah. Sometimes I get asked questions and I'm like, okay, I want to answer this question right, and I don't want to disappoint this person, and this person needs help now, not just just saying, oh, go get help, professional help. Sometimes that's just not the answer. You have to be there to help other people, and joy and happiness, I believe, is helping other people. And that's the other kind of, rest, sleep, nutrition, exercise, and then reaching out and helping other people.
Absolutely. That's because and it's not for the sacrifice of service. I think some people get that a little backwards. You actually feel good when you do that. So I believe that life is about feeling good, and that's why I do the shows that I do. We're here to have fun and enjoy our lives 88% of the time. And yet we've developed this habit of complaining and whining and being the worst, and it's not good. That's why I actually came up with an app called 21 Day Fast from Complaining. So if you're interested in changing your life just by not complaining, we start every first of the month. So round 86 starts August the 1st. So you can find that if you go on the App Store and just Google my name or 21 Day Fast, you'll find no complaints.
Well, complaining is a self-fulfilled prophecy, really. If you're going to complain and you're going to disparage everything, you're going to make it that way, I believe.
That's right.
And habit, you talked about that and you brushed on that a little bit. I do something myself, and that is that I tend to have a lot of goals. And, it's like, okay, I'm going to build an FM radio station in Yucaipa, which I did. Good, congratulations to me. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I've, kept KCAA on the air, and it's doing better all the time, and we're achieving a lot. I did that. That's great, and I'm, involved in the community. That's really good. But then what I forget to do, I fail to do, the big failure is, once in a while you got to plan something nice for yourself or go somewhere. Or do something like buy a book so you can read it in the cool underneath the shade tree or on the front porch with a glass of iced tea or something like that.
Yep.
I fail to plan my fun and my enjoyment. And that's part of it, the whole balance.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. That is exactly true. Because if you are waiting for someone else to say good job or approve or wow, and you can't say that for yourself and reward yourself, it's going to be a pretty anxious time in looking around you. I call it the 88% mark. So you're a goal getter, a goal 0 to 100, and you usually get to 88% mark on every goal. And then the tendencies we have is to keep looking at that 12% gap of what's wrong and what still needs to be done. And that's okay. It gives us the motivation to hit 100, but it's a 10th place. It's not a happy zone. But if we turn around and face the 0 start line and look at the 88% of things that we have done that have gone right, and we feel good about it, that's the balance and the ticket. Because we also see people that way. We don't, we don't say, oh, isn't this person awesome, except when you're first dating. But after a while, you see only the 12% that's bad, wrong, not good enough. And if you just turned at the 88 and saw that person in all the good that they are, it will change your relationship.
That's right. And no one's going to say, hey, Mark, you worked hard the past 6 months. Take a weekend in Palm Springs or go to Disneyland or go to the beach.
Right.
How many people can raise their hand right now and say they haven't touched the ocean, even though we live within minutes of it, really, most of us, within an hour of it, most of us. When's the last time you touched the ocean or felt the cool mountain air? And so some of that relief, some of that creating your own universe, I believe, is that, and that's that balance. So speaking of that, we've been speaking with Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah, and her wonderful show here on KCAA. And now she's totally confused me about the title of it. I'm just kidding.
My title of the show is Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. Get balance with Dr. Marissa, so there's no gossip, no scandal, no K-words, no Kardashian talk at all.
It's so long, that's why I can't remember. But
your reality, your own reality.
Just look for Thursdays at 7 and you'll find it. Or
there
KCAA.
you go. Get balance with Dr. Marissa.
Or go to her website at forbalance.org, forbalance.org. She is going to have a book signing here on the 11th of August from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Redlands Barnes & Noble in the Citrus Plaza Shopping Center. So plan on having some fun there. Plan on going to this book signing. Plan on picking up your copy of the book. Plan on, when you do that, going over to one of the very nice, tasty restaurants. And they have this thing called Made on Demand Pizza. I got to tell you. Anyway, very good.
Are you getting
they have Thai food.
Commercial for them. We'll go get the pizza next time.
And they have Thai food and a fish place there.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
I guess that's where we're going.
I guess that's where we're going.
Yep, I guess where it is. And then you can also go to 8waystohappiness.com for the book link now.
8waystohappiness.com.
Yeah.
Because the name of the book is called 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are.
That's right.
With
Thank you so
Dr.
much,
Marissa.
Mark, for having me on your show today.
It's been a pleasure and an honor. And what a great way to spend a very, very hot Monday where it's 106 degrees right here in Redlands.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm glad I'm here in Steel Beach.
But we have air conditioning.
Yeah, lucky you. Well, say hi to everybody, all the fabulous staff over there at KCAA, and make sure you tune in to my show this Thursday at 7. We're having an absolute phenomenal show with the Abilities Recovery Center. We've got hope for anyone that's paralyzed.
All right.
So you'll have to tune in at 7.
Thank you very much. And you've been listening to On the Mark with Mark Westwood, and today with Joe Lyons. Thanks to Joe Lyons. Thanks to the people from the Scouts of America. Thanks also to our lovely guest we just finished up with, Dr. Marissa, the Asian Oprah. Peace in and peace out.
Thank you for listening to On the
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3.